Hey guys, so this is a quick tutorial of Nurburgring Grand Prix no chicane, even though that's a lie, because there definitely is a chicane at the end of the track. These Germans. Anyhow, today I'm going to be running the Honda. This is just the Apex Imola setup. It feels pretty good. Everything felt just fine. Track temperature 19 and 21, so I don't remember if it changed from. No, weather constant, dynamic sky. So, no, it's been the same the whole session. This lap, I was able to run a 206.996, and Connor actually a little bit quicker at the 206.980. So, good job to him. He'll be one to watch out for come next Monday. So, we'll get started on this lap tutorial here really quick. So, coming into lap one, the brake marker that I'm going to be looking at, I'll just be looking at this 100-meter mark. It might not be exactly at 100 meters. In fact, it's a little bit before. But that's where my eyes are looking at when I'm braking. So right here, my eyes are looking at the 100 mark. And then as I get to this point, I'm no longer looking there. I'm starting to look towards where I'm going to end up in my braking zone, which is out here. And as you come over this crest, my eyes are searching for my braking point. So the second you get over this crest and under your braking zone, you're going to be wanting to looking for your braking, I suppose you could call it your braking apex, where you want to be on the track when you're done braking and want to start your rotation. So now that I've found my braking apex, now I'm looking at my real apex. And I want to get to right about this point. And it's important here. So you have this really big drop off. You're going to be down to first gear, I'd imagine, in every car except the Audi, which would probably be second gear. So brake really hard in a straight line. I've maxed out the braking. That's not the most efficient necessarily, but it works out for me. And like I say in all my other videos, I start the wheel and I start letting off the brake pedal. Then if you notice on this, I hold that brake in it and then on throttle before you get to the apex. You don't want to get on too much throttle because if you do get too much throttle, you're going to end up pushing wide coming out of the turn and have to either A, get out of the throttle to get the front tires resettled, or the front tires are just going to spin on the track and you're going to understeer and lose a lot of traction and therefore a lot of time. So on throttle a little before apex, keep it tight. I believe the next lap I do, I go a little bit quicker through it, but I got an off track and I ran out of fuel. That's another thing. Lap 13, like I drop a ton of time when after 10 laps, so I'll need to figure, or not lap, I did 4, 6, 3, 4, 5. So lap 6 or 7, so if you're not feeling good until lap 6 or 7, just keep driving and then you'll get to that point and then the car really does come alive. So don't get too frustrated. You can daydream about daisies and rainbows up until lap 6, because before that it doesn't matter too much for raw pace wise anyhow. So you're going to want to get up to second gear when you can. You want to come to the middle of the track. It's this seam right here. So when I'm looking, I spot this seam, and now when I find that my car is on this seam with my peripheral vision, because I'm looking over here, then I start swapping to the left. When I see it right here, then I start swapping to the left. Drive deep and hard into this turn, because if you drive soft into it, you can't do too much. So if you're not driving hard into it, you're going to be spending a lot of time going too slow where one, you cannot get on the throttle, because if you get on the throttle, this off-cambered long carousel would push you right off the track. And then two, you're off throttle. You have a lot of front grip, but you're just losing a lot of time. So try and drive a little bit deeper into it and then lift off the turn and keep this 10 to 15% brake pressure in it. This is going to be really important for brake pressure, is this turn 2. So then all the way out here to this is, I believe, white line, left tires on white line, you will get an off track. So I suppose watching this again, if you want a point where you want to get on throttle, you're going to be looking for this green patch of grass. If you're a big person on looking for cues and things around the track, it's going to be this green patch of grass that you'll start getting on throttle by. And then ease your way up to it on these curbs. I don't have a braking point for this turn. It's just kind of by feel. Again, if you want to pick something, you can pick any of these tire marks. But I just kind of do it by where I'm at in the turn. So let's see if we can look at... So we'll get to here. So see how this turn is shaped? It's not really a hairpin. You have... I can't have my mouse up and look at it at the same time. That sucks, so you can see it a lot better. But it's not a hairpin where at this point that it automatically starts shooting that way. So what you don't want to do is apex at this point and then start turning. You want to apex near there and late apex that one. And you want to, this is another one, just like turn 2 before it. You want to keep that 10-15% on the brake pedal until you get late enough in the turn where the front tire starts gripping again. And then, by the time you get to these curbing, you can't really see it in here. You want to, down to first gear, start easily getting on the throttle, because you can pick up an off track if your car is hooked up and going there. But for the most part, pace-wise, again, you want to try and brake in a straight line. So notice what I do with the steering wheel and the brake pedal going into this turn. So I have steering input into it. I straighten the wheel to brake hard, and then I let off the wheel to turn, or let off the brake pedal to turn. I get hooked up and on the throttle. So that one, you're going to be really important to brake in a straight line. So this is a really quick transition. This is another reason for the late apex in 2, is you need to set yourself up for 3. I found it's drastically faster to shoot for having your front left tire be as close to this as you can. This is the happy medium because I was able to get on gas early and start acceleration between these. You want to get up to second gear, be all the way out here. You can cut more of that turn than I did, and that's about as far out as you can be without taking a off track on that one. Half throttle, 90-degree input, no trail brake into this turn, just a lift. Let the front get set, and then back on throttle. So now we're going to turn 4. Braking point, you're going to be just in the middle of these cones. Like if you go past this first cone, take a small count, and then you're going to be on the brake pedal. Right tire's all the way on that white line, brake in a straight line, feed with a little bit of wheel. So here, I'm actually going to point out something not good that I did, is I double fed the wheel. So I feed the wheel here, and I'm like, oh, that's too soon. I see the apex. You see me get out of it like that, and then I have to turn back in again. Then I'm still too tight. This isn't necessarily a curb that you want to be on, because that really does upset your roll speed coming out of that mid-exit. So you want to be out here. You want to turn a little bit later than what I did here. I'm not happy with this turn yet because there is camber on this turn, so you can really send it in there and ease on the throttle, get that 50% throttle on that mid-apex to get the car trajectory towards the exit a little bit. As you can see, that kind of hurts my exit. And then braking into turn 5 is basically the second that you can get your steering wheel straight. When these start tapering down. So I kind of look over to my left. Oh my goodness, okay. So look over to my left a little bit, and the second that I see that tapering down, I get on the brake. I get on the brakes, and I'm immediately looking towards my apex in 6. Same braking, nothing crazy there. Exit is super, super important for this turn. You can get on that curb a little bit, use all the curving that you got there. And we'll fast forward down into this bowl. This bowl, the braking zone, is right when you hit the rumble strip. You can hear the rumble strip. And the trajectory that I've taken into this is more of a straight line to the bowl, the biggest apex of it. instead of braking here and easing my way into it, I brake in a straight line, catch the bull, use trail brake and get the car rotated, and then right back on throttle. I didn't like to carve this turn. I felt the front wheel drive really pushed hard on exit. If you tried to brake in a straight line and enter the turn at this point instead of a little bit tighter right here. So you can see the angle of my car is already pointed towards the turn instead of straight right here. You want to get towards the angle, get the car to drop heavy on the brake down to second gear. And the key for this turn is not getting on the throttle too early. You're better off getting on a little bit late and being able to stay full throttle and not spin the tires on that mid-exit than you are if you were to get full throttle too early, have to back out or get in the grass. Turns up here is kind of a non-turn. Get your right tires up on these curbs. Get your left tires up on these curbs. If you do go any further than this, if you get your left tires, I think over the... One time I got to slow down here. I need to look back at that lap and just figure out why. But from lap 1's a little bit close on full throttle there, but every other lap is pretty easy full throttle, especially if you use the curbing on that. So here, coming up to, I don't even know what turn this is anymore, the second left right. You're coming up to this 100-meter mark. There's a couple different philosophies that you can use here. Either one is fast because the turn directly after it, right here, because we're right here on the track. The turn directly after it, you do have to slow down for and set up for a long straightaway. So this one you have a little bit of freedom to either go in hard and gain time in, lose time out, or go in easy, gain time out. I found it a little bit quicker and more consistent to go in easy and gain time out. So therefore, I'm braking about the 125 meter mark. Again, hard in a straight line. Turn in. So this one's actually a great example of that. I turn in and I'm off the brake pedal. Then right back on throttle. I probably could have hopped that curb a little bit more, and then you want to get your two left tires. This I could have pushed more, but you want to at least get your right tires on that curbing, then immediately back over to the left side of the track. Get your left tires near the white line out here, and then do a little bit of trail braking, and then right back on gas. This one is so important to be heavy on throttle again. At an early point. Oh, ooh. And I probably could have got to that curb on the inside, but that's not, I might have lost a half a tenth through that sector. So you can use that curve, you cannot use that curve. So this one's really tricky. So you'd think that these braking markers apply to what we're doing. I don't know if they actually do or not, but you're way, way past the 100 mark and closer to the 60 to 50 meter mark. 60 to 75, sorry. And you want to brake, again, in a straight line down to fourth or third gear. Either one works well for this application. But the first thing that you want to do, because it's all hidden, because when you're driving, you can't tell that that's a red cone and that's your apex. It's not these orange cones, it's that red cone right in the middle. And then the other red cone, you can barely see the tip of it over there. So as I'm hitting here, I hit the brake pedal. I have my eyes looking for my brake marker, which is just about there. And I'm hard on the brake pedal. And then immediately when I'm on the brakes, I look towards this white line a little bit, make sure that I'm maximizing my entry. And then once I'm sure that I'm there, I immediately start hunting for this red cone, because that's going to be what you're going to be looking for. And this was not this was a clean lap. And you can see I'm already on throttle before. So I'm not sure what makes this an off-track versus an on-track. My next lap, I get an off-track there, but I didn't feel like it was too different. So you have to experiment with it a little bit. But the key here, this is not that aggressive of a chicane. You can be full throttle here and keep full throttle through this right-hander. So your throttle application starts way back here in the turn because you need to get a good exit to maximize out, because this isn't sharp enough to gain enough under braking to make the exit being slower worth it. So you want to maximize your exit through this turn. And I probably should have gone to 4th gear. Maximize your exit here. Be careful going up on that because this curve is pretty aggressive and it can upset the car. So use that to catch you a little bit, and then braking into the last turn. Again, there's no braking marker. It's just kind of by feel where you're going to be at. So you can use this as a reference if you want to, but I really have no idea. And it's a pretty standard turn, you know, down 60%, then throttle. Be easy, patient on the throttle until you're sure that the front end's going to stick. So I'm going to go to the next lap because it was a little bit quicker through this section. So we'll watch this really quick. Yeah, that was like a lot better than last time. But this track does have, I have an off track in the chicanes here on this lap. I want to see why. Huh. I need to look at my VRS, because that's like the same, isn't it? Or maybe I got an off track the lap before. I have no idea anymore. Whatever it is, then I ran out of gas. So whatever it is, this looks a lot more clean than the other lap. Maybe I got an off track the lap before and I didn't for this one. I'm going to have to look at the VRS data and see if this is a clean lap or not, because I don't remember. But anyway, the whole rest of the track's the same. What I said is the same for this, just I might not have done it as well as I thought I did, or showcased to you guys. So we'll do a quick lap in the cockpit here. That's a lap. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it helped. Again, if you have any questions in the Discord, just shoot a message. I always like helping people out. So thanks for watching, and see you guys on Monday.